special COD board meeting October 23rd, 2024 at 5 p.m. in the Estill County Board of Education boardroom located at 253 Main Street in Irving, Kentucky. At this time, I would like to call this meeting to order. Welcome everyone, and we always stand and start our meetings by saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. At the entrance into the boardroom, I'd like to remind you there's a sign-in sheet. If you haven't done so, to please sign in. Tonight, first on our agenda, we have some presentations by a couple of different construction management firms. Mr. Rock, would you like to speak to that?
So we put out a RFP a little over a month ago, I guess now. I'd have to go back and look at the date. Put it out to several firms. We've had some firms respond. We've invited two of them to come and present tonight, Pax Walker and Codell. I've spoke with both of them outside of the meeting and asked them to come and present to the board, and then the board will make a decision in the upcoming week or at least before the next board meeting as to which firm to go with. So both are well qualified, both references are exceptional, and we are excited about working with whichever firm gets chose to move forward. So this time we'll turn it over to you all for your presentation.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate the opportunity. My name is David Rhodes, and with me we got the team. We got the executive team. I'll make those introductions here in a minute, and it's an honor to be here. You know, we submitted.
Can you talk a little louder?
Louder?
So that
Okay.
the audience.
Okay.
We
Okay.
have.
Or we'll get Jeremy to turn you up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay. I sound pretty loud here, but anyway. You know, we submitted a proposal several years ago for your tech center, but we were not successful. But we've been keeping an eye on this project. So this area we love to be involved in this project. We don't do a lot of marketing. A lot of it's word of mouth. We have 5 school districts that we're pretty jealous about. We really try to stay on, but we're always looking for another opportunity, and this is one we would like to participate in. All right. Oh, well, let's see. I had it. Okay. All right. Pax Walker's 2 companies, Pax Incorporated and the Walker Company. Pax out of Moorhead, they've been in business over 55 years in general contracting. Walker Company over 91 years in business, and both general contractors. The Walker Company is primarily, we started in the aggregate business, asphalt, heavy highway, and probably in the late 80s, 90s, we started a general contracting division. And Pax, they've pretty much been in the what we call the horizontal construction, the building construction, since they started. And tonight we have Mr. Keith Pack, the founder of Pax Incorporated, his son-in-law, Bob Barton. We have Art Walker, 4th generation. And I've had the privilege to work with all 4 of them, so it sort of tells you I'm getting some age. But and then Jeff Puckett, your own Jeff Puckett here in the county. He's been with the company 16 years, I believe. He's our CFO, and does a great job. Project experience, you know, we have built some churches, we've done some government institutions, some facilities, recreational facilities, but primarily we set this joint venture up, this Pax Walker up to provide construction management to schools. We just had in 2010, we formed this partnership, this joint venture. We formed this construction management firm because we had customers. We had worked general contracting for schools, but they saw a need. They like to have our expertise on the front end. I'd like to tell us story about this school. The superintendent, Mr. Tim Spencer, he actually hired us prior to hiring the architect. He needs some help in site acquisition. He was having a difficult time selecting the right site. He had a 17-acre site that this school would fit, but he didn't have any room for growth, and the price was, it was a big price. We got the drone out, we flew, and we found a spot, 100 acres, and that would be suitable. That's a park road, it's adjacent to their park, and we convinced him he needed to purchase that property for almost the same price that he could have bought the 17 acres. And so we helped him acquire the property, and then he needed some funding. They voted in nickel in, so they did get their help from Frankfurt. They matched that, and then but he needed some urgent needs money, and so we went to Frankfurt and helped Tim, and didn't know if they were going to pass it, but we got the votes we needed, and he was able to get some urgent needs money to build this facility. Now, the architect had this on one level, and a lot of retaining walls, and we convinced him, hey, let's go 2 stories. There's a lot of rock there that'll minimize the amount of rock you would need to extract, and that would remove all the retaining walls. You can see some of the steep slopes, but we removed a lot of the retaining walls and saved them an enormous amount of money. Actually, they were able to do the alternate 3 additional classes. It was scheduled for 3 through 8, but we were able to get it in from K through 8. This track facility, that's on that property, that 100 acres, so they were able to put their track on there. They built their central office. We were all involved in those projects. One quick note about this project, they had a lot of modular walls, such as your all's track. I see your all's track's got that modular wall. That's very expensive, but the architect had a lot of walls on this track, but we soon realized that there was going to be some excess soil, and so what we did was flatten the slopes out, and we eliminated about $600,000 worth of wall. And we suggested that he use that money to build his concession stand and storage area, and that's what that is right there. That was not part of the original contract, but we saved him about $600,000 so they could build their concessions there. They just held a regional tournament there, first time. Bath County, real quick, we did this addition. Again, here's working with KDE. This addition right there took away their practice field, all right? This was grass, and so we convinced KDE, they have no place to practice. With a grass field, it's not a good place to practice. You can't do your day-to-day practice. That's just for football games. But with a turf field, you can practice there. So now this is before House Bill 678. You couldn't spend money. That'd be general fund dollars for athletic features, but we were able to convince KDE, hey, they have no place to practice, so therefore you should participate in helping Bath County. So they were able to bond that. So we have a good relationship with KDE, good relationship with Frankfurt. Round County, this is $100,000. This is a new middle school that we built for them. We've done Clearfield Elementary renovation, Rodburn renovation, elementary school, and then their Viking Center. They purchased the old Maysville Community and Technical College campus there in Round County. They purchased that Round County, and we renovated that for them as well. Doing multiple projects for Round. Fleming, same thing. This was a high school, 90,000 square foot renovation, and we just starting their new elementary school. We're just starting that project, and then also here in the next 6 weeks we'll be bidding out their the LABEC, the Local Area Technology Center. Okay. So as I told you earlier, we work currently for 5 school districts, all of which have been repeat customers. And here's what we feel like is different from other construction managers. None of these districts have engaged another construction manager for their subsequent projects. We feel like we construct facilities, but we also build relationships while we're doing it. And we want to be a lasting partner with you, regardless of your projects. We like to be, hey, you have a project about construction or just a question, you would feel comfortable calling us and say, hey, what about this? What about that? We have your interest at heart. Some pre-construction services, many of these things you all probably know, but these are behind the scenes. We meet with the owner and design team. We want to sit down with the staff, find out what their wishes and wants, and find out what you can afford. That's always big. We've got to get your maintenance staff involved. A lot of times they're excluded. They need to be involved, especially at the end product. Be sure they know how it functions and all that. We want to evaluate the construction site. We got a lot of experience in site development. And so we would very much like to be involved in that. Geotech reports, I know that's one of y'all's issues, your soil conditions here. When I was on the school board in Montgomery County, we considered building out in Jeffersonville area, southern part. And we did the geotech study, and we decided instead of building there, we just expanded Camargo because of the issues with the shale that y'all's dealing with. Not that it can't be, it can be built, but we just felt like anyway, that was one of the reasons we didn't build, was because of that pyritic shale. Project schedule, budgets, we'll be doing all that. The BG forms now, we're very familiar. Bob does a lot of that, KDE. Bob Barton would be glad to help with that. Or you may have someone on staff. We found a lot of times that the staff would assume we handle that. And we're glad to do it. And prepare all trade bidding documents. We had, on this last job, we bid elementary school in Fleming County. We had 15 different bid packages, I think is what we ended up with. And that would be determined by the type of project and type of construction. But typically, you've probably got 12 to 16 different bid packages. We'll evaluate the bids, and along with the architect, we'll provide a letter, a recommendation to the board, and prepare the contracts for the owner's signature. And that absolutely will have on-site supervision, all work performed, on-site administration, safety oversight, weekly meeting with the contractors, and no less than monthly meeting with the design team and owner. We like to attend your board meetings. Most board meetings, they have us on the agenda. Some school districts, they choose to have something in writing, but we be glad to be there, and we'll maintain and update the schedule, and we'll review and submit all trade pay applications to the architect. We'll sign off on it, say that we're good with this, and send it to the architect, and then typically he'll submit it to the owner. KDE's definition of construction manager. Construction manager means a qualified and experienced contracting organization which provides the services of construction management and possesses a general trades workforce, staff, and equipment. I just want to talk to you about that. With our two companies, we have many workforce. We have a lot of workforce. We have carpenters, operators, concrete, if necessary, if that's needed. And it's also required by KDE standards, if you look at that. And we have the ability. Pax Walker team holds a distinct advantage over other firms in the field due to the depth of its workforce and equipment resources. We feel like that's important. We've had to go out and do punch list work, clean up, whatever it takes to get the job done, but we have the people, the manpower to do that. And here's the other thing. We think this is big. The project owner will communicate directly with our executive team. And that's who you're going to see at the meetings. That's who you're going to be talking to over the phone, emails. Transactions are going to be with this executive team. And we have the old guy, and we have the young guy. We got the technology. I think it speaks well. We got to have youth, and you got to have the gray hairs like myself and Mr. Pack. It goes. This guy, the technology, the 3D modeling, this guy's it. He knows all that. And your architect, I will say, I've attended some of his pre-bid. Never done any work with him, but attended some of his pre-bid conferences, and I was really impressed with his plans, the technology, and that that was a few years ago. I said, this guy, he's well above the others in that technology piece. So I just want to bring that to your attention that we do have a good team from young to old, okay? I think that's what it takes. Short video here we want to show you real quick, and we'll be done. And Mr. Puckett wants to say now, Jill. All right.
The track record that Pax Walker has and successful projects.
This is John Maxey, Superintendent, Round County. Well, it didn't last long.
When we looked at the track record that Pax Walker has and successful projects, we knew it was a natural fit. Construction management and our partnership with Pax Walker has been outstanding. It's been an excellent relationship. You working on behalf of the owner, being able to facilitate that relationship with the architect, made it a smooth, natural transition.
Thanks to you guys with the construction manager, we pumped about $1 million.
This is Brian Creasman, Superintendent, Fleming County.
So we were able to really expand the scope to really capture everything the students want.
Reflecting back over these last 2 years of this whole project, you've been there from day one. But you've always been spot on as far as being able to be reached, and the communication with you has been so positive. And I think it's been pivotal to help our school district as far as the resources and the dollars in this project, as far as the funding mechanism to get the most bang for our buck.
I think the best thing that happened when you guys were working together with the architects, and there was so much consultation that you guys were able to save us over $1 million by not going with that retaining wall and kind of redesigning the school and moving it around a little bit. And that was enough of the savings that we're going to be able to finish our whole building.
And Mr. Puckett.
Thank you. I love that video. I just want to make sure the school board, I can tell Donna when I talked to her, she didn't recognize me initially. It's been a long time since we've seen each other. And actually, I spent
We played a lot of ball together.
a lot of ball together. Spent a lot more time talking to John. You're always working, so I spent a lot of time talking to John, actually. So.
I'm glad he knew I was working.
I picked up on that.
Yeah, so definitely sometimes John had more free time than
Yeah.
I did. I can attest to that. But anyway, I'm Jeff Puckett. I live out at Cressy. And the reason this project is so important to me, my grandkids, I guess they're 4 and 6, they'll be going to this school. So I just want you all to know how committed that I'll be and our executive team will be. And everything I can do to help facilitate, help you guys, be a good project for you all, I'll be available to you. So anyway, we'll open it up for questions if you all.
One thing, you said you work with 5 districts. I've got Menifee, Bath, Rowan, and Fleming. Who am I missing?
Montgomery. Montgomery, yes.
The whole town.
Thank you for bringing that up. That's my bad. But we have Northview Elementary, new school. Then we've renovated McNabb Middle School twice. We've renovated Camargo Elementary. We've done a lot of multiple projects there.
Yeah.
But that did not make it on there just
Well,
due to.
I figured that's who it was,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to make
No,
any.
I appreciate it. I meant to mention that. Yeah, that
When you
was-
said 5, I
yeah.
want to make sure that I
Yeah.
got all 5
Yes.
to speak with superintendent, so thank you. So, and you answered this a little bit in your presentations, but what do you feel like special about your company that you can offer our board and our community and staff that maybe somebody else don't offer, or that you do a little bit better than everybody else?
Well, I guess it's just our experience. You know, we've worked with, we've done a lot of work with other construction managers. And so that's when we started, we sort of knew what worked, what didn't work. We try to put a well-educated, project experience, I guess. We've got the hands-on experience out in the field. And then also, I think with our workforce and our knowledge of construction, I think a lot of times subcontractors or prime contractors, if they feel like you don't know construction techniques, if you haven't been out there in the field, then I feel like they take advantage of you. So I think they realize that, hey, we know how to do this. We've had experience with it, and so therefore, I tell you what, we have a good group of contractors that follow us around. We get asked all the time, man, are y'all going to look at this job or whatever? So we feel like our knowledge of construction and the presence of the executive team, we're not going to be in here tonight and never see us again. You're going to see us whenever anytime there's something going on about this project, we're going to be here. And then working with KDE and, hey, let's face it, sometimes you got to play politics. And people in Frankfurt, we're well established there as well. So I don't know if that gives you a complete answer, but.
Okay, thank you. How will you talk about your executive team and the direct line.
That's good.
So how will you work with the Board of Education, our leadership team and staff, the community to ensure that this is a successful project for Estill County Schools?
Well, what we like to do, and I don't know what your plans are, but again, we like to engage the staff and the board. Well, ultimately, you all make the decisions. You're always, you're going to make the vote. But we like to say, the maintenance staff. A lot of times, we want to make sure they're involved. As far as community, we like to have community involvement. Maybe at some point when you have the plans, either before or after, when the plans are nearly complete, maybe have a meeting bring the community in and try to engage them. A lot of times when they're looking at raising taxes, a lot of times we try to do the same thing as far as get the community excited about this project and try to get them to buy in, because ultimately it's the people's school. It's the public school, right? Any comments, guys? There's a microphone.
I think one thing that we're good at, in a project this size, there's always going to be issues that arise. How do you address those issues? And I think it's very important we try to do what we can do, mediate it, and everything resolved. And of course, we're going to keep the school board and the citizens in mind on any decisions that are made. Of course, any decisions that are made will come back to the board. But we've been very successful in doing that. Most of the time, you have common sense that prevail, and I think we have a lot of common sense. And as you notice, it's already been noted, I'm a senior team member.
He did, I will say this, maybe we're relatively young to other construction managers, but, we've never been in any kind of litigation since we've been in business. So as when Keith brought up, we try to mediate any kind of issues. And, we spent thousands of dollars sometimes just out of our own pocket try to, resolve issues. That's what we're there for. Just try to do the best. Again, that's part of developing relationships.
Sorry, I'm writing. So this kind of a follow-up on it, because this brings in the architecture firm that we just recently hired, and I'm assuming you all know who that is.
Yes.
So
Word
you said that
travels. You know how word travels.
Yeah, it does. And you said that you had somewhat of a relationship being in presentation. So how will you proceed in working with us, the Board of Education, Estill County, and DECO on this project? What would those steps look like? And they probably know more about this than I do, because they've been through construction.
No, if we're
before.
awarded this.
I'm brand new, so I'm asking this mostly for me.
No, that'd be one of the first things. That'd probably be one of the first phone calls if we were selected. Say, hey, we look forward to work with you. I've heard a lot of things about you, which, I've seen down at KSBA. Like I say, I've seen some of his presentation, his plans, and it really doesn't surprise me that he was selected. When I saw the three names, I thought he had a very good shot, because he's an impressive young man. The team and his wife as well. So I would look forward to it. Art would look more forward to it because of the youth and everything. He would love that.
Okay. You've already answered this a little bit, but I wanted to bring it up. You've talked about some of these schools and stuff, so is there any other experience you have, projects with schools construction? How many do you roughly do, over the last 10 years or anything like that that you'd like to bring to light? A bunch?
Well, anything the 5 districts have done, we've completed them. Montgomery County, I give you that, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think at least 5 in Montgomery. Fleming, we're going to have 3 under our belt there. Menifee, it's been, Menifee, another thing, we were able to get, we helped the county and the school, again, working with Frankfurt, we were able to get them line item $3.5 million to build a softball and baseball field. The county received the money, but it's working with the school, so it'll be for the school, but working with our state senator, able to line item $3.5 million for that project. Guys, Fleming County, Round, 5 projects around. Bath, 1, 2, 3, at least 3 at Bath, yeah.
You count the projects that aren't school related, I'd say in the last 10 years, probably 50 projects.
Yeah, we've done some outside of schools.
Right.
I saw a big.
But
Now that-
several schools.
Now, that doesn't count, too, what each company does as far as the general trade work or GC
Sure.
work.
And the reason I ask, it's evident that you all have done several schools, but there does have to be that relationship with KDE and the board and the construction, because it is a little bit different animal when you're building schools.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, KDE, they know who we are. Actually, I served on the Kentucky Board of Education for 4 years. So I served 2 terms in Montgomery County, then I served a 4-year term at the Kentucky Department of Education on their board.
Okay.
So,
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, go for it.
So we as a school board, as you know, are charged with being good stewards of tax dollars, and, we've put a lot of thought and time and effort into building and, finishing this project, to have a new middle school. And so money is always a concern, and so I was wondering, what would you do to ensure that this project is at least on budget or under budget, and on time or ahead of time? What would you do to ensure that? And I know you spoke to some of that about meetings and keeping everyone informed, but we've been in some projects before that didn't go as we planned.
well, I didn't bring that up, but I think we do a great job on the front end. It's a lot easier to save money on paper than it is out there in the field. So if you're going,
Get a lot of change orders.
well, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to make changes, let's do it during the design.
Exactly.
And that's where we come in. We're pretty good at reviewing these plans and finding savings, such as the Menifee County project. Fleming County, we worked tirelessly on trying to keep that thing under budget. I didn't show the numbers. We're about $1.5 million under budget. It's less than, Bob, I think it's less than $400 square foot. That's pretty good right now. Did y'all see Henry Clay? They just bumped it up another, what, 30 million?
I saw that.
So,
I'm sorry, David, let me, I don't need a microphone. To your point, though, I do the change order logs for our firm, and on the last 4 or 5 projects especially, our emphasis has been or what we've seen trending-wise, and it's due to a lot of collaborative effort between us and the architect, but we have a lot of negative change orders on our change order logs, a lot.
Money back.
A lot, and it's, a lot of it's, by what David said, is by us digging in but things that don't come to fruition during the design phase, we're able to implement it right post-bid. As soon as the bids are
Robert Elementary, that's rare, but I think it was, at one time, it was, had negative contingency was more than, it started out with. That's rare. That's on a renovation. Now, it didn't finish that well, but it finished, had a lot of, contingency left. But no, we do, try to find areas to save money. Now, a lot of times you save it during the design, such as Fleming County. I mean, Menifee County, that was all budget driven. That's the reason we eliminated a lot of the concrete. We didn't do geothermal. I mean, it was all budget driven. As we say, it's budget based on budget, quality, and time. And you can pick two of the three. That's what that's generally the rule.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. Do you have another one, or?
Well, I think you probably have it too, but,
Go ahead.
so one of the things that we're very, aware of is that, this school's gonna have to last us for a long time. And, 30 plus years. And so we are looking to build a school that's sustainable and that's gonna hold up, and that, because we're not gonna have a lot of money to keep going back and fixing things and redoing. And so I guess what I'm asking is, we want something that's gonna be sustainable and something that's gonna take us into the future for Jeff's grandkids. So I was wondering, it sounds like some of the projects that you've done, you've had those things in mind.
Well, I
Something
have,
that's
but
not just for education today, but education for 20 years from today.
Exactly.
well, Fleming County, for instance, I'm not knocking the design or anything, but it was budget. I mean, they're tight on money. They went with metal wall panels, okay? Bricks and mortar is probably cheaper than metal wall panels. And they were looking to save, but anyway, I'm just telling you, the old block and brick's still most economical way to go. And you know it lasts. Their schools, sustainable. It's a green, it's a green product, right, guys? It's a renewable, whatever. But, some do these insulating concrete walls. That's fine, but for dollar, CMU block and brick seems to, it still works.
It's worked a long time.
It
Anyway.
works a long time, yeah, has worked.
What, if funding continues and comes through, which we expect it to, even in this next session, what's a realistic time frame in your all's mind?
Well, the design, if you could have the design where we could start, say, in the spring of next year, earthwork, that's certainly going to speed up the time versus starting earthwork and, say, in the fall of the year.
Sure.
Days are starting to get longer, so we got more sun, so it's best to start, if you can start the earthwork in the spring of the year, 27 months maybe, depending on how much, a lot's going to depend on your site, how much earth you got to move.
Right.
And then if you have to do something with that shale, best on this shale if you don't even expose it. Now, that would take a lot of flat land. I don't know if you got that over here. It's sort of like our country. So if you have to deal with it, then, there's different ways.
I think we're thinking, if the seam runs true, that we maybe, if we're lucky, won't get into it.
Yeah, I think you ought to be 2 to 3 feet above it, and you're good.
It'll be lower than what we're looking at, maybe.
But
Okay.
we'll have to have some field work done.
Oh, yeah,
and
there's
some
field work done.
flattening,
Oh, yeah,
off
yeah.
the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And
For
Right.
sure.
Right.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us or anything else you'd like us to know?
You'll have any questions? The only thing, you answered that. Sounds like you're going to make a decision here in the next week, 10 days, something like that.
Yeah,
And-
fairly soon.
Yeah.
No later than the next regular called board meeting. but
Okay, so it'll be
probably before
announced, I
that.
guess, the meeting when you want to make a
Absolutely.
decision? and-
I'll let both parties know when that meeting's gonna be.
Okay.
Yep.
would
Again.
those superintendents at those other schools mind if we gave them a call?
Oh, please do.
I'm gonna call them.
Tim Spencer, Matt Thompson,
Yeah.
this is Montgomery County.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm happy to pull those together and
Yeah.
Yeah.
send them.
I know them, I have them, thank you.
Board chairmen, we can give you the names of those. If you want others, we'll give them to you, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was wanting the fifth one I'd missed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't tell Matt I didn't show Montgomery
I'm
County.
gonna tell
there. No,
him.
don't, please.
Let me
No,
call him right now, I'm gonna tell him
No,
that you didn't have him in the list.
No, please,
No, I'm
please
just kidding.
don't.
I'm just kidding.
Well, again, on behalf of Pax Walker, we truly appreciate the opportunity. You know, we got our foot in the door this time. Last time we didn't. We got our foot in the door today, so thank you so much.
Last thing from me, who would I contact with any follow-up questions?
Just contact me.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I have your
Yeah,
email.
you got my email,
Yep.
right.
All right.
I'm sort of director, all right, sort of like the choir, you know, director. And so I
I know, I thought you were gonna sing for us tonight.
Oh, no. So no, again, thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all very much.
Safe trip.
All right, so thank you. So we have our second firm here that's going to do introductions and do their presentation. Like I said earlier, both are well qualified, and we'd be happy to work with either one. So whoever wants to go ahead and get started, so
Should we use podium or
however you want to do it. We can get it for you if you want it, or
not necessary? Okay. All right, first, can you all hear me okay? Jim Codell, president of Codell Construction Company. I want to let the gentleman with me, our proposed construction manager and project manager, Jack Reed and Kenny Davis, tell you a little bit about themselves, and then I'll start into the presentation.
Is this on? Yeah, so Kenny Davis, I've been with Codell for 25 years since college. I did 3 of the projects previously for the district, so I know everybody but actually Joe, so good to see you guys again.
Yeah, I'm Jack Reed. I've been with Codell for 17 years. I worked on your new field and your high school renovation.
So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today. Tell you a little bit about who we are. Family-owned business, started in 1908, located in Winchester. I'm 4th generation in it. Got some sons, one of whom started in on the company, and we may have 1 or 2 more before it's all said and done. We'll see. But been around a long time, and we've stuck around by satisfying our clients and finishing jobs on time, in budget, and in a quality manner. If given the opportunity, we would propose to do the same for the Estill County School Board. Put together the same team here for you all that did your last project. They know what the district expects when it comes to the project management and the field work, as well as the accounting work, and why fix something that's not broken. So we'll keep those same players here, and I'm going to let Kenny talk to you a little bit about how we would function if we're hired as your construction manager, and we'll go from there.
If it's okay, I'm gonna sit down if it's all right. I talk loud anyway, so I am glad to be back in front of you guys. I spent the better part of 3 years attending your all's board meetings and coming here and providing you guys updates, and you guys made me feel so welcome when I come, and I look forward to getting back with you guys again, and you as well, Mr. Brock. You're obviously new to the picture here, but the time frame in which the last projects were built was unprecedented. If you remember on the ATC project, COVID was running wild, and then the next 2 projects, we bid and built both those projects while the inflated costs of turned the market upside down. And then the long lead time materials made it very difficult for scheduling purposes. And it was something we've never seen before. So we had to deal with it on the fly, and you guys know that. So, but guess what? With all that happening, we as a team still got those jobs done on time, in budget, and in a quality manner. And that means a lot to me because I come to this board and report, and you guys relied on Codell to make that happen, and I think we did a heck of a job doing that. So what three control factors did we implement then that made those jobs successful, and then what we plan to use on the new middle school project? It's simple for us. It's budget control, it's schedule control, and it's change order control. So I'm going to start first with budget control because it is our responsibility at the beginning of projects to make sure that what the design team is designing you can afford as an owner. Okay, we have our own in-house estimator, so he has all the gadgets, all the technology that can spit out an estimate. But more than that, like Jim said, we've been in business for 116 years. So we have relationships with subcontractors, suppliers, and contractors that they follow us everywhere. And they're going to work with us to make sure that they provide real-time numbers, because the market's changing every day still. I mean, you asked the question a while ago, Mr. Brock. It's still changing. It's out there. And we can rely on those guys to give us real-time numbers that we can then apply to that budget. Because the last thing we're going to do for you guys, we are not going to bid this project knowingly that it's not affordable.
okay? We're gonna do all the homework up front, and there's all kinds of exercises that we can do up front. There's constructability reviews, there's value engineering, to make sure that what is designed, then, like I said, is affordable on bid day. So for instance, on the value engineering, you know, there may be a material type ABC that's exactly like material type XYZ, but ABC has the same characteristics, same warranty, same quality, same aesthetics, but it's $250,000 cheaper. It's not cheap, I should say less expensive. It's not cheap, but less expensive. That's my job up front, to educate you guys that, hey, we can go with material type ABC, you can get a better project for that, okay? So, again, budget control to me is the key to this whole process. It kind of sets up the rest of the project from a standpoint that, and I'll get into change order control in a minute, but that's what happened on these past projects. We were so good up front saving money, you guys actually were able to spend a lot of money on the back end on your owner requested change orders. Schedule control, that's the next one. So that's kind of my specialty. I'm all about schedule. I'm all about pushing people. Jack will tell you that. And it's our job to make sure, as a CM, if you hire us or PAX, whoever, it's our job to make sure that the job is done in the time frame that you guys need it to be done. Now, if you tell me it has to be done in 18 months, and I come back and say that's impossible, you have to believe me as the expert that it is impossible, but I will do everything in my power to make sure that we try to meet the time frame that you guys have. I'm gonna reminisce a little bit. So if you remember back on the ATC project, 2 or 3 weeks prior to the governor coming on site, if you were around Mr. Saylor, he was a hot mess, right? I mean, a hot mess. He would ask me once, he'd ask me 15 times, and he'd be sarcastic. He'd say, hey, Kenny, you do realize the governor's coming in 2 weeks. I was like, yeah, I know he's coming. I said, I promise you we'll be done. If you'll remember this, we paved the week the governor came, and that was a glorious, that was the best dedication ceremony I've ever been to for a school. That was a glorious day for Estill County, and we plan on doing the same thing for you guys on this next project. Now fast forward to the football field. So here we are in the football field, and we got a game August the 20th or something like that.
We play Powell County.
August 19th, and I was there. That was another great day for Estill County. But probably 6 to 8 weeks prior to being done, we had to have 125 to 150 men on site to make that happen. Now, it's not that we were behind because we were behind. We had a rough winter, and then we had a wet spring, and all that works outside. But we made it happen, and like I said, I was there. You guys were all there. It was beautiful, and that's what we do at Codell. We're going to do what we have to do to make sure that you as an owner are satisfied. So as far as schedule control, what does Codell do different than our competitors? Okay, and I don't know. Maybe sometimes they do this, but I know we do it all the time on our projects. We create a schedule prior to bid, okay? What that does is we make that schedule part of the contract. That makes the contractor accountable and responsible that he has to man the project in order to get done on time for us to meet your all's goals and needs. So how do we do that? So let's just use an example in your middle school project that to lay the bricks, 100-day duration, okay? We don't care if the mason has 10 masons there or if he has 50. Jack's going to monitor that work. He's going to check that work. We run production rates, and he'll inform them, hey, you're not going to meet it with the guys you got on site. You got to add more men. But at the end of the day, I think we're the only CM that regularly puts that in the contract, that you have to meet the schedule that we provide. And again, that protects both Codell and you, the owner.
So that keeps the painter or a trade like that saying, oh, we bid this job with 2 men. No, you bid it with 2 or 200, whatever it takes to hit that duration.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that was schedule control. Now the easy one for me is change order control, because if we do our homework up front during the budget control, then the change order control ought to fall in place. So our job is to make sure that everything is black and white. There's no gray areas. We dot our I's and cross our T's. And really, you know, school boards don't like change orders. Codell don't like change orders. Why do we not like change orders? We like stuff to be, like I said, black and white, get in, get out. Change orders muddy the water, okay? And again, we don't make a lot of money on them. I'll be honest with you. The rates from the KDE is not very conducive for us to make money. So we prefer to do all the homework up front and not have any change orders. Now, with that being said, you may remember this, you may not remember this, but on your previous projects, I was doing some research on getting prepared for this presentation, and you guys had over 30 owner-requested change orders. That's crazy. That's crazy good for you all. That's crazy because here's the deal. Most districts don't have that capability of saving that kind of money, okay? And what happened here is, as a team, we saved that money in the budget control phase, then throughout construction, and then you were able to take the contingency money that we saved and fulfill your wish list. If you remember, I'll give you a few items. So the steps that lead from the back of the high school up to the ATC, the pedway that goes across the road from the ATC to the high school, all the additional parking you got at the high school, all the additional sod you got up there at the Estill Springs, all those things were due to the fact that we, as a team, saved money early on throughout the project so that you guys could fulfill your wish list. I don't know of any items that remain on those 3 projects that you guys didn't get off your wish list. And again, and I'm not taking credit for it. You guys did just the same as I did. You guys managed the job from your own position. We managed it from our position, and then we made it happen. And I'm proud of that, and I hold myself, I pat myself on the back for that, I pat Jack on the back for that, and even you all on the back for that. So, but yeah, that's the 3 things that we're going to implement on this middle school project. Nothing different. It's not science. We could sit here all day and do a full presentation, but you guys know how we work, and I feel like those 3 control factors are the key to the project. And I look forward to working with you guys on this next one.
All right, so talk to you a little bit about our past experience that I feel like makes us uniquely qualified to be your construction manager. We have in excess of 300 school projects, past experience, a lot of middle schools that you see listed over to the right-hand side of the front page. And if you flip over to the back page with the pictures of similar projects, you start out with the projects that we've done here. And I think familiarity with handling, the reason we're sitting here today is because we have a school that has been adversely affected by subsurface conditions that we, since that school was originally constructed, the engineers have figured out how to deal with those subsurface conditions. Codell has dealt with those subsurface conditions in a successful manner on the 3 projects, especially the top 2 on the left. I feel like that experience, knowing how to deal with that so we don't have another failure on your new middle school, makes us uniquely qualified to be your construction manager. I think the sheer number of middle schools listed on both sides of the sheet of this placemat menu, as Mr. Crawford said, helps us, our experience in working with your recently selected design team, I feel like makes us uniquely qualified to be able to turn out the best possible project most successfully to meet your budget and time frame. We work very well with DECO and their team, and I think you could speak with the folks at both Rockcastle and Adair, where we're currently working. We're well underway at Adair. We're just getting started at Rockcastle. We're about to turn a new road department headquarters in Franklin County completed. We'll turn it over the next 30 days to the Franklin County Fiscal Court. So we've worked through several projects with your design team. We know how they work. They know how we work, and in a cooperative manner, and are very excited to hear you all selected them. And I think they would be excited as well if we were the selected firm here, because having Kenny is an old coach. and he's all about teamwork. And we've worked well with the Estill County School Board as a team in the past, and would do the same if given the opportunity here today. And we've done likewise with DECO and their team. And for full disclosure, we're working with them on some couple of projects for the city of Monticello, their home as well. So anyway, it's been a successful teaming agreement, and I think it'll be very fluid if we're given the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, and we're glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Just, we have just a few, and I'm going to ask these, and I'll let you ask your two, and then we'll, or do you want me to ask them?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You want me to go first?
Well, let's keep it in the same order.
All right.
So you've answered this just a little bit, talking about experience and with middle schools. I know Adair and Rock Castle are currently underway. What are the other ones of these that have been recent?
So we've got Jackson County as a renovation we're working on now. Lee County.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, the dates are on there.
I was looking specifically at the middle schools here. Yeah. Okay.
Campbellsville Middle School is what stage? Tell us.
It's, Campbellsville Middle School was a complete tear down and build back new, and then renovation throughout the high school. It'll be complete first of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So several.
Yes.
So we got pretty good, as far as historical costs, we've got a pretty extensive school, very extensive with Powell. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to find anybody with the historical database that we have with respect to school costs.
Okay, so in addition to that, and you talked about, like I said, experience, and you talked a little bit about with your budget controls. What are those things that you all offer that other CMs can't, or you feel like you all do a better job with?
One thing in addition to the schedule that, we're talking budget. One thing we have that we feel like we do better is our project management software. And it's a Trimble product, which is a big name in construction, but it's called Project Site. And it's like a project website. Every piece of paper that touches this project will be on that, accessible by you all, accessible by the design team, and used by us on a daily basis. To give you an idea of what all's on there, and I'll let Kenny fill in the blanks if I miss anything. Jack's daily reports with photos. You can get a real-time look at what's going on that site daily. His phone logs, manpower on the job, any proposal requests or anything dealing with dollars, billings, change orders, change in dollars is on that site. The schedule stays updated on that site. All the pay apps, all of, again, every BG document that KDE requires is there. Fill in the blanks, Kenny. What am I leaving out?
No, that's a pretty extensive list. And I will add this, Mr. Brock, to your question about budget control. And today, we knew you knew us, so we didn't do the full-blown presentation. But typically, when I talk about budget control, the steps that we do first is when we get these drawings from the design team, we start looking at these. I'm going to bring in Jack with 2 or 3 other people, and we're going to dig into those drawings, and they're going to dissect it because of the experience they have. I think our experience is second to none to our competition. I can bring in guys that's got 20, 25 years experience, and they can say, well, no, that detail's not gonna work, and we need to change that detail, that'll save money, or it'll save time, or whatever else. So we're not afraid to take those drawings, dissect them, and then use it as constructive criticism back to the architect and say, hey, if you do this and do that, then maybe we can afford to do this, and then do that. And that's the key in this whole thing is, it's a juggling act as far as what can we afford up front. Now, like I said before, luckily you guys were really diligent with your money, and you were able to get everything on the back end. Most districts aren't that lucky. So the key is code up and come in there from the get-go and trim this thing down, and by using their experience, I think that's what sets us apart.
Thank you. And then I know that we've worked with you all before, but just for me, because I'm relatively new, I come in on the back end of
Yeah.
just a few
Couple
things
meetings,
finishing
yeah.
up in a couple meetings. And also for Mr. Crawford, our new board member, how will you work with the Estill County Board of Education, leadership, the staff, and the community to ensure a successful project?
You wanna go? I got you. Yeah, so Jim makes a good point. So a lot of times, these districts, obviously the warranty periods are a big deal for you guys. And you guys have called us here recently about Shane. They're awesome to work with, Shane and forgive me, Todd.
Yeah.
They're great to work with. And just so you know, with Codell being in business for 116 years, we haven't run away from any problems. I mean, we'll get calls from 10 years ago saying, hey, my roof's leaking, and we'll find a way to fix it. And that's what happened over there at Estill Springs. You guys had a door that got, jammed up or whatever. And I called up one of our, it was Elliott Contracting, and they do a lot of work for us. And I said, I know the warranty's over, but can you go up there and take a look at it? You got a guy in the area. And I think this week I talked to Shane, he said it got fixed.
Yep.
So we're there for your all's best interest, because here's the deal. Most of our business is repeat business, and you gotta do stuff right to get rehired. And I think we do a really good job of that. And just so you know, I bet you guys on your trees. Your trees have been ordered, and they'll be in before the end of the month. So there's like 15 trees that's dead, and we're gonna take care of all those at Estill Springs and at the high school. So they're on order.
Well,
So we'll do whatever we gotta do to satisfy you guys.
Well,
We heard a lot
it's-
about those trees.
yeah, we're only as good as how we finish. I mean, those lingering issues separate the good experiences from the bad experiences. To get back to your question, and kind of work back from end of project to beginning, we'll do what it has to take to make sure we get warranty and post-warranty items taken care of. We're gonna bend over backwards to make sure we hit ribbon cuttings and hopefully governor appearances, and we're gonna do what it takes to, or put forth every effort we can to assist with any item related to the project, whether it be funding, whether it be a deadline, or whatever it takes to make sure that you all are happy and those children are taken care of, and they're what matters here. We're all disposable. It's about the kids and making sure they have a good facility, safe facility to occupy in a timely manner, and that's the goal here. We get it, and that's what we want, to get them in a safe facility sooner rather than later, because we know what you're up against.
And then you've already kind of answered this, but I'll try to ask the same questions to both parties, to be fair on both sides. So how will you proceed to work with the Board of Education, Estill County, and DECO on this project? So you've already mentioned some, you've got a working relationship with them. I don't know if there's anything y'all want to add to that, or?
I think it's just, it's teamwork. One thing we do different that we haven't touched on, we tend to have a little more difficulty, quite frankly, not necessarily with DECO, but generically managing designers than we do the subcontractors, because we do things like put the schedule in the bid documents to make our job easier to hold the subs accountable, but we also need to have things in place to help to move the design along. And one thing that we've had real success with at both Adair and Rockcastle, working with DECO and both school boards, is setting up Teams meetings every other week. That keeps everybody on their toes. We also put together a design schedule. We will ask DECO's input to say, when can you have us schematic design? When can you have us design development? We need a week to do the schematic design development estimate. We need 3 weeks to do the design development estimate. So we'll put together a project schedule or a design schedule. And then when we have our teams meetings every other week, that the board, you, Mr. Brock, or your designees, or if the board wants to participate in some of those, however that looks, that keeps, we go over that schedule, and we go over getting questions answered. And that keeps us on point. Again, that design phase is important. Putting together an early site package would be important here to go on and get something going sooner rather than later. Site utilities, but having those teams meetings regularly helps move things along, because if not, people lose interest. I mean, it's busy. These architects are busy. These CMs are busy. I mean, it helps yours truly be able to stay engaged on our projects that are all over Kentucky and Tennessee, where I don't have to drive. I mean, we're close to Estill, but it helps me cover more ground. Teams has been ideal. So those are the kinds of things we'll do.
And then you've already answered this one, experience that you have in school construction. I think we beat that one to death. And then, do you want me, you answered this,
Yeah,
please.
we just had a couple of questions, and I know I always am on to Kenny about this on our past projects. It's just being on time or ahead of time, and on budget or under budget. And I know you spoke a lot about that with your schedule and sticking to that, and zero change orders, or at least change orders that are in our favor. And so I know you spoke to that. Is there anything you would add to that?
Not really. I mean, the key, like I said before, is to make sure that we meet the needs of the district, period, end. I mean, you guys are our boss. We're gonna, like Jim said, we're gonna do everything we can in our power to keep everybody on track. We think involvement from the board and from the superintendent's huge in getting these jobs going in the right direction. But, I feel really good about what we said before. I mean, our job is to push, our job is budget, and our job is quality control, and that's what Jack will do when Jack's here. So, you see, I think those 3 projects, and I could be wrong, but I thought they all went really well, and I'm pleased with them, and I hope you guys are too. So I wouldn't change much from how we handled those projects, honestly.
Yeah, at a difficult time.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
And then the other question that we had, and like Mr. Brock said, just to make sure we're asking the same questions to you all, is this school is gonna have to last us for a long time, 30+ years. And just how would you ensure or help us to figure out how to build a school that's sustainable and that will take us into the future?
Well, it's
Not just,
Not just the future, but
not just like for the building to be here, but
yeah.
for education 20 years from now, not just right now.
Well, it starts with what's underneath, and making sure that's right, so we don't repeat, that I hit on there earlier. The planning process, making sure that the faculty, and staff are heard from, during, design, and, you know, so that, you know, you all, make sure that what's coming down the pike is included in the design. Make sure you all are heard from, make sure you're comfortable, with what, the design team and the design team's hearing you all and actually putting on paper, what your staff is requesting. And, again, I think you've made a good choice, and they've done, you know, they've got some younger blood, and I think that helps. You know, some of us old cats get set in our ways, and don't listen to the young, the next generation of what's coming along, and but just making sure you all are heard from and getting what you want, and I think you'll get good collaboration again with your design team.
Thank you. Is that it?
Is there anything else that you would like for us to know, or any questions for us?
Which site are we still thinking?
Behind the, like ATC High School.
Okay. All right, that's what I thought.
Probably
Back there where,
change it just, well, maybe shifting it to the left a little bit and actually having it up above the high school so that it can be seen from the road, and then just kind of.
yeah, so we've already did some preliminary costing. Duncan was running some yardage up there, so that, I think that's another thing, we're we've already do have a little bit of a head start when we were asked to put together some cost estimates for the legislature. So we got a pretty good idea of what's there. I knew there was a little bit of discussion where exactly. I knew you were going to stay in the same neighborhood, but another thing, if you need some additional roadway improvements or anything like that, we're custom working with KDOT to making sure those happen and get timed when you need them for the school. Things like that really aren't part of our contract, but that really make the project a success. We're going to bend over backwards to make sure that they happen for you in a timely manner.
And I actually missed one. I didn't go in order. Thank you, Ms. Isford. Is realistically, if, and not holding anybody to it, but if the rest of the funding comes through this next session, what do you all feel is realistic time frame? Because you know kind of the situation we're in with the middle school.
So they've got they'll get it designed and get your site.
Right.
And utilities.
Right.
They could start right away.
Yeah, so I think Jim's hitting on the head here. I think as fast as you can turn loose, you know.
They hired their architect last week.
Okay, so yeah, so we can turn him loose, we can hire his CM, we'll get a schedule out there in front of everybody. And I think Jim hit on it earlier, you're gonna wanna do a early site package as fast as you
So
can.
if they can design it in 6 months, bid it in a month, that's 7 months.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know the square footage or anything, I'd say you're looking at 20, 22 months for the project. And that's just me, this ballparking, I know nothing about it. I'm just basing off of other schools I'm doing right now that's probably gonna be similar in size.
It's a little smaller than a dare.
So you're probably, realistically, could, Christmas of, open the school in January of 27. Is what I'm thinking. We're sitting in November, roughly.
I like to put pen to paper, but yeah, I mean,
We
just
understand that
with
it's
Yeah,
a
I'm not,
ballpark. We
yeah, it's a ballpark, I'm not,
I just, that's rough, 30,000 feet
Yeah,
above.
we
Sure.
understand that.
sure.
We understand, plus weather, yeah.
Here's what you don't wanna do, is pay a big escalation charge for double shift and overtime.
Right,
I mean, that's based upon a 40-hour work.
yeah,
That's what that is.
yeah. And we are definitely on a time frame as we want to get it done as quick as we possibly can, but we also want quality work and we want to make sure it's done right the first time,
well, I
so.
think the key still is getting the early site package out as fast as you can, because if you have to wait for all that and have the rest of the design to get done, you've lost probably 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the key. I mean, just looking at it from my, my seat today, that's what I would do, Mr. Brown.
Any other questions for us?
No, I'm good.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Who do I contact if I have follow-up questions? Okay. Thank you, I appreciate it.
We
We will
appreciate
be
you
in
all very
touch.
much.
You got it.
Yeah, good to see you all.
Good seeing you guys.
while we've had our presentations by our two construction management firms, I just wanted to let everyone know there will not be a decision made on that this evening. There will not be a vote this evening on that. We plan to come back next week, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
For a special called meeting, but we will get that agenda out as we move forward with this. So that's all we have on our agenda for tonight. I'd like to call for an adjournment of this meeting. I need a motion and a second. Tammy Hardy and Sheila Samples. All in favor? This meeting is now adjourned.